Sure.
Can you stand next to get a picture?
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Lido's in College Park. Great to have you with us tonight for a very special Maryland basketball show. You talk about special guests. We got one of the best over the coach of Maryland, the Hall of Fame coach, Gary Williams, with us tonight. We have Lonnie Baxter, part of that 2001-2002 national championship team. Walt Williams will be with us, hopefully, a little bit later on. Jimmy Patsos is on his way right now. He'll be with us, hopefully, a little bit later on. And it's great to have you with us tonight. The Terps on the West Coast, Josh Meyer will fill in for me during that game tonight against Southern California, as Buzz Williams and company still looking for that first elusive conference win. And, Coach, I know when you took over the program way back in 1989 and 90 when Walt was playing for you, but there were some tough times in that first couple of years, and Buzz has to kind of just ride the storm and hope for better things to come. As long as we had Walt, we were okay. Unfortunately, he graduated after my first 2 years there, and we had that one tough year, but then we were able to get it turned around. And I think, what's happening now with college basketball is completely different. You don't get that 4-year player very often. When Buzz came to Maryland, there were no players. Basically, we had to really scramble and put together a team. And it's very difficult when you're playing a conference like the Big Ten. You're always going to have 5 or 6 teams ranked in the top 20 in the country, but there's some other teams that are really good that aren't ranked, and it's really difficult. You almost have to play a near perfect game every time because you don't have the players that have been in your program for a while and know how to handle that type of situation where every night out you've got to go to battle, and it's very difficult. Brought to you by Thompson Creek Window Company. Coach, the basketball landscape has changed so much with the NIL and with the transfer portal, and you never know who you're going to have in practice tomorrow in case the kid wants to transfer somewhere else. It's very, very difficult. And besides being a coach, now you're a fundraiser. So there's a lot of things you have to do besides coaching the basketball team. Yeah, the only good thing is coaches are making a lot more money. So you retired way early. That's a good thing. But, like Lonnie Baxter, who was sitting beside me, going into his senior year, say, after going to the Final Four, he would have been making like $2 million. Not that bothers Lonnie, but it's just the nature of the game. It's become a professional sport, and you have to accept that. You can still root for Maryland and root for your team, but it is a professional sport now, and everybody's having trouble putting their arms around that, how to deal with it. And the coaches are complaining because there's no really guidelines. Basically, anything goes right now, in terms of paying players. Players can play in 4 different schools. There's guys 26 years old playing. You're playing against men. If you're a freshman being under-recruited because coaches would rather have a 23-year-old guy with experience than a great high school player that's 18 years old. And so that's a different situation that you're looking at. And with the transfer portal, you're seeing it right now. Football's right in the transfer portal. It's just amazing the number of guys that put their name into the portal. So when you look at the Maryland basketball team that Buzz Williams has put together, you got a couple of freshmen, you've got some you've got 4 guys that came with you from Texas A&M, and the rest of the guys are all Porter guys. Luke Sotel, the walk-on last year, he's on the team. Everybody else is new, and it's not going to bring together overnight. People ask me, what's wrong with the basketball team? Well, the Big Ten's a pretty good conference, too. We're playing against some pretty good teams. Yeah, I think that's the thing. You come into a job like Buzz did, and there were literally more players left in the team. So he had a week before the whole NIL thing went to a different level, so he had to get these guys into the program. And now he's already had success recruiting for next year. Absolutely. Which is good. And I'm sure there's going to be some guys in the transfer portal that are going to look at Maryland pretty closely because That's the key, I think, nowadays, is to have some really good freshmen, but also have that veteran player that's been through it a little bit that can drag these freshmen along. And the other thing you do now in coaching in basketball, you coach year to year. In other words, you do it for 1 year because you don't know who's leaving, who's like, that type of thing. And so you have to maximize what you can do in a year period. And, a lot of those guys were playing for me. Lonnie started as a freshman, he came in, all of a sudden, by the time he's a senior, he's a great player. But he had that ability to, stay at the same place. Now, players almost like look at the school to being a transfer portal. And they look at it as, be careful what you wish for. Yeah, and a lot of these guys don't wind up getting what they thought they'd get, or players can have agents now. Agents are telling them, you can make this, you can do this, and that's not always true. And these guys wind up going to a lesser situation, but nobody talks about that. Did you notice the hush in the crowd when Walt Williams just walked in? Oh, and Pat sits back there as well. Yeah. There we go. Coach, also, one other thing that is interesting today, the recruiting process maybe it's changed completely from when you were coaching. I mean, you can close a deal like this, and now you got all different people putting in different ways, and everybody's got the same pitch. But the Maryland job is different. You got a great fan base, you got great tradition, you got a national championship banner that hangs from the rafters, you got all Americans like Lonnie Baxter and like Walt Williams and great coaches like yourself. Who wouldn't want to come and play at the University of Maryland? Well, unfortunately, how much are you going to pay me is the most asked question that I recruit. It's not about tradition as much as it is now. It's how much can you pay me? I don't blame the players at all. When I was 18 years old, Lonnie was 18, whatever. If somebody was going to give me a lot more money than another place, that would have a lot to do with it. With where I went to school, and these kids are put in these situations. They all have agents now, so the agent is negotiating with the coach, with the person in charge of the school. And so, it's a completely different mindset now. And the big thing is, whoever does come, you've got to really do a great job in terms of you've got summer coaching now. You can coach them in the summer before they start their year. But at the same time, you've got to get those guys together and you've got to get them playing in a very short period of time. And that's difficult to do. And so the better the player that you get, the more you can get away with maybe not having enough time to get that team together because the guy's so talented. We can see that with Buzz next year. He'll have that talent that, he can go from that point instead of starting completely from the bottom up. Our Maryland Basketball Show tonight brought to you by Thompson Creek Window Company, a proud partner of Maryland Athletics. Thompson Creek, they design, they build, they install replacement windows from their local Maryland factory. You get yourself high-quality windows at an affordable price without the middleman markup. We'll come back and we'll also visit with Lonnie Baxter, Jimmy Patsos sitting with us, and Walt Williams as we continue from Lido's in College Park on the Maryland Sports Radio Network.
From quote to clean up, we move fast. Call Thompson Creek and get new windows in 2 weeks, roofing in 3 days, siding in 1 week, and gutters in just 48 hours. We cut out the middleman to give you better prices and faster service because your home improvement project shouldn't take months. Skip the wait. Call now and get a free quote. And now for a limited time, it's our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on everything. There's never been a better time to buy.
Home, sweet Thompson Creek.
Come to Rosecroft Raceway for live racing Mondays and Thursdays from now until the 18th of December. Post time is 7:15 p.m. Open every day for simulcast, live boxing and banquet space. Visit us anytime at rosecroft.com.
In Ocean City, Maryland, having fun is kind of our thing. I mean, look at these two. They're all about having fun. That's fun. This is fun. Whoa. Too much fun? Nah, no such thing. Because here, even leg day is fun. So head to the coast and, well, just coast. Pump up the volume, or just pump up the pool floaty. From the boardwalk to the bay, come discover somewhere to smile about.
There are a lot of myths out there about how the Maryland lottery works. Playing the lottery responsibly means knowing what's true and what's not. The facts are, all games have similar odds. You should never try to recover losses by taking more risks. And you shouldn't play the lottery when you're feeling stressed. But the biggest fact is, you should always play responsibly. Learn more facts and myths at mdlottery.com, and please play responsibly.
The Terps welcome Penn State to College Park on January 18. This isn't just another game. It's a Big Ten border battle. Fast, physical, relentless. Every possession counts. Every basket matters. And every fan fuels the fight. Be part of the energy. Be part of the noise. Be part of beating Penn State.
At Planet Fitness, no two members are alike. Their routines are different. They use different equipment.
1, 2, 3.
Woo! And they do it for different reasons.
All right. You're a mythical beast.
But they all have one thing in common.
Hey, you got this. Come on.
They're all strong.
That's right.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
One more, everybody.
One more? I got 5 more.
Come to Rosecroft Raceway for live racing Mondays and Thursdays from now until the 18th of December. Post time is 7:15 p.m. Open every day for simulcast, live boxing and banquet space. Visit us anytime at rosecroft.com.
Easily be.
The Terps welcome Penn State to College Park on January 18. This isn't just another game. It's a Big Ten border battle. Fast, physical, relentless. Every possession counts.
Well, if you're ready, it's showtime. Grab some Testino Premium Lager. That's the official craft beer of the Maryland Terrapins by Union Craft Beer Company. Lonnie Baxter with us, Walt Williams with us, Hall of Fame coach Gary Williams. As the Terrapins will celebrate this year the 25th anniversary of winning that first ever national championship in Maryland basketball back in 01 and 02. And I'll let you introduce the guy sitting next to you because he's a great story. Local guy who not only made good, but made All-American and MVP of 2 regionals in the great last 2 years when you won the championship. Yeah, I think we're very fortunate to coach a player like Lonnie, and he was what you want when you coach. You really take a lot of pride in the player improving, getting better, and Lonnie really did a great job. He sacrificed a lot. I think he lost 30 pounds between his freshman and sophomore year, and became as good as any inside player in the country, and played in the NBA for 6 years, was it? 3 years. And just, the idea that you reach that level, less than 1% of all college basketball players even make it to the college level and make it to the NBA level. It's just incredible. But the best part was Lonnie never veered off of the idea that whatever he was going to do, it was going to help the team. That was always Lonnie's thing, because whether he was defending against the guy 3-4 inches taller, not shoot the ball on the perimeter, but wait till the ball came to him inside, and with Ron Dixon sometimes it never came. It never came inside. And like all those things, and Lonnie was willing to sacrifice, like a lot of the guys on that team, they sacrificed for the good of the team, and the results they were really talented, and when they play together like that, we were really difficult to beat. Lonnie's in the automobile business now, one of the top automobile salesmen in this area. There's a mention the company you're looking for. Right now I'm at Oilsman Honda at Law. How much time do you spend with customers, prospective customers, talking about this national championship here? Quite a few, and you'd be surprised. I bet, yeah. A customer called in the other day, and I told him my name and everything. When he got there, he was like, I knew it was you. He ended up buying a truck from me. Had you always wanted to come to them? Of course, like I said, some guys like Walt, But 95, Joe Smith, Keith Booth, Dwayne Simpkins, Johnny Rose, X-Ray Hips teams. And I remember watching those guys with their black socks and their black shoes. Like, I want to play like those guys. And I just knew I wanted to become the Maryland from day one. What was the only guy that ever played for me in the world, head man? That's the phrase, his transfers is true. Go ahead. It's the savior, so you do what you have to do. So, thank God. The savior, and the high white socks, of course. That's swag. That's the way you see thing nationally. In other words, if you saw a guy playing from New Mexico and he had the high white socks, he had big as DC when he was from DC. Seriously, that became his very cool. Y'all made number 42, very popular. So the Wolves have the green light all the time, Coach. He was shooting up. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I know. That's what I'm trying to tell him. No, because after the game, Walt did like 28, 30. Oh, by the way, Walt still has some record in the ACC, which the ACC never talks about it because it's not there anymore. 8 straight games and 30 or more points. Conference games, which just very few. I don't know if anyone's ever done that. But the thing was, Walt would get 30. I'd come out after the game. And people said, well, how come we're out there to shoot more? They said you got 30. I mean, come on. 39 against Wake Forest, 38 against Clemson, 38 against Florida State, 34 against Clemson again, 33 Virginia, 32 North Carolina, 30 against Florida State, 30 against North Carolina State again, and never saw a shot he didn't like. The good thing with Walt, why he was so tough to cover, because he could play any position on the court. He played point guard for his son. He would come off of, we would set 4 screens sometimes, so we had 4 guys. If we had 6 guys out there, we would set 6 screens. We would try to get Walt open. It was great watching Walt play because, he was so dominant in the game. He got all the attention, basically, deservedly so. But to see the other players, how they respected Walt, respected his effort. Because a lot of times when you get a player like that, the other guys, they get a little funny about Walt getting all the attention, but they never bothered. Never bothered. And Walt was the driver for the team. He was. That was the deal. You pass me the ball, I give you a free. The national championship team the year before was a heartbreaker in the Final Four. So, and clear up the story about, I think you guys made a pact saying, okay, we got this far. Next year we're going to come back, we're going to win the whole darn thing. We did. After that loss, it was just heartbreaking. Up 22.5. No, over half. Whatever we were up at half big. We were up 12 at halftime. But then, the second half, things changed. Lonnie's fifth foul in that game. That was with, who's the father of the great player at Duke right now. And, referee was called that by the time he got to the scores table. He changed his mind on that call, and I'll never forget that. And we had a lot of people, a lot of my coaching friends were there, a lot of these guys' friends were there, and not just known people, but that game, it wasn't right what happened the second half of that game, and I've never talked much about it, but as I get older, I feel like talking more about it. We'll talk more with Lonnie Baxter and Walt Williams and Jimmy Patsos coming up in just a couple of minutes. Food Lion is to get more program for every free throw the Terps make this season. Let's hope they make the block tonight against USC, beginning at 10:30. Food Lion Feeds will donate 100 meals to capital area food banks. We'll come back to those in just a moment. Talking Maryland basketball brought to you by Thompson Creek Lumber Company on the Maryland Sports Radio Network.
The Terps welcome Penn State to College Park on January 18. This isn't just another game. It's a Big Ten border battle. Fast, physical, relentless. Every possession counts. Every basket matters. And every fan fuels the fight. Be part of the energy. Be part of the noise. Be part of beating Penn State.
From quote to cleanup, we move fast. Call Thompson Creek and get new windows in 2 weeks, roofing in 3 days, siding in 1 week, and gutters in just 48 hours. We cut out the middleman to give you better prices and faster service because your home improvement project shouldn't take months. Skip the wait. Call now and get a free quote. And now, for a limited time, it's our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on everything. There's never been a better time to buy.
Home, sweet Thompson Creek.
At Planet Fitness, no two members are alike. Their routines are different. They use different equipment.
1, 2, 3.
Woo! And they do it for different reasons.
You're a mythical beast.
But they all have one thing in common.
Hey, you got this. Come on.
They're all strong.
That's right.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
One more, everybody.
One more? I got 5 more.
There are a lot of myths out there about how the Maryland lottery works. Playing the lottery responsibly means knowing what's true and what's not. The facts are, all games have similar odds. You should never try to recover losses by taking more risks. And you shouldn't play the lottery when you're feeling stressed. But the biggest fact is, you should always play responsibly. Learn more facts and myths at mdlottery.com, and please play responsibly.
The Terps welcome Penn State to College Park on January 18. This isn't just another game. It's a Big Ten border battle. Fast, physical, relentless. Every possession counts. Every basket matters. And every fan fuels the fight. Be part of the energy. Be part of the noise. Be part of beating Penn State.
You're listening to Maryland Sports on the Maryland Sports Radio Network. Now, here's Talking Terps with the
Toledo's in College Park. Johnny Halliday with head coach Gary Williams and Roddy Baxter and Walt Williams, the Wizard, and Jimmy Patsos will be with us in just a couple of minutes. SeatGeek's the official ticket marketplace for the Terps. Whether you're buying or selling basketball tickets, SeatGeek is the place to do it. Walt, when you played at Crossville High School over there in Prince George's County, you played, I believe, for Coach Hawkins?
Yes, Coach Hawkins.
Coach Earl Hawkins. He's the head coach at UNBC, I think, at one time, wasn't he?
Yeah, man. He
was played against us, too.
Yes. Yeah. And I tried to tear him up that game, too.
All those sports he made you run.
He's definitely a leader out there, man. Not on the court, but not just on the court, but off the court as well. Just a tough guy, someone who commanded respect. And, in the environment that I grew up in, you see a guy like him, straight-laced guy, showing that with the tough mannerisms and characteristics, it stands out, and it stood out to me, and it was something that I gravitated to.
You had a chance to go to a lot of different schools.
Yeah.
And you chose to stay at Maryland.
Yes.
Which nobody does today in college basketball. They're all going everywhere. But that, as Coach Williams has said over and over again, every Maryland fan knows what you did for this program.
Well, I wanted to play in front of my family and friends, just growing up in this area. I wanted my folks to see my progression, and also as a kid growing up, we play pickup games, and right before the game started, we would pretend, we'd call our women, we're going to pretend to be that day, and I would always yell, I'm a little biased today, and so that stood out to me, that was in my mind when I was making a decision to come to University of Maryland. I wanted the kids in the community that I grew up in, I wanted them to pretend like they were me, and so that stood out to me, and I thought that I can accomplish that here more than any place else. So, and the biggest reason was, man, I could not leave my mama. I needed to be near her.
Your mama.
Yes.
I think the thing we walked, people forget we were obviously, we had sanctions put on the side of the NCAA, and Walt back then, if you transferred, you had to sit out a year, which they should bring back, by the way, but that's the way it is right now. You can play right away. But Walt, because of the sanctions, could have gone anywhere in the country and played right away. And of course, he was good enough to play anywhere in the country, but he chose to stay. And I think he sacrificed playing the NCAA tournament. We weren't allowed to play. That was part of the sanctions for 2 years, and we couldn't play on live TV. So Walt sacrificed all that, and he did a lot of great things, not just as a basketball player, but he gave back a scholarship to the university when he was playing in the NBA, and just being probably as good an ambassador for the university, obviously the basketball team, but for the university, and you're now a trustee at the university.
Yes.
Oh my! So I have to be very nice to Walt.
Hey, you know what? And also, my girlfriend at the time, but my wife ultimately, she went to Bowie State, so I wasn't going anywhere.
You had to stay in the DMV. Was that the same for you? You always wanted to come to Maryland?
Yeah, I remember at Hargrave University, my coach was asking me, that's straight, yeah, I didn't. Hargrave Military Academy in Southern Virginia, my coach was like, what school do you want to go to? And I was like, Maryland. He was like, what's your next choice? And I was like, Maryland. And looked at me like,
that gym was 100 degrees. Yeah, he was sitting there like he had to retire the military. He couldn't get his buttons. And like, who's the other guy? Corey Young. Who, like, going to Kansas? I went to someplace. No, he went straight to the NBA. Oh, yeah. There was a line outside that door. Make a left. There's nobody there. The line is in good shape. I had my recruiting seal all set up. I want to go to Maryland. They play school. I want to go to Maryland. I'll get out there in about 5 minutes. When you guys won the national championship, you had to beat Siena, you had to beat Wisconsin, you had to go through Kentucky, then you had to go through Connecticut, then you had to beat Kansas just to get to Indiana and win the national championship. That's murderer's row right there. Yeah, I think the game with Connecticut, there was probably, I think there was 8 future NBA players that were court in that game. And it was just as quick a game, and one of you played a year better than me. It was as quick a game as I've ever tried to coach, because always something was happening, with great players and, things like that. And, I remember Jim Calhoun told me after the game, the coach of Connecticut said that whoever won that game was going to win the national championship. Because he knew, we had played Connecticut earlier that year. We did in the old BB&T tournament. Ron Butler came out flying. I'm flying in Newtown the game, and like, hey, Newtown did a great job. He had 26 the second half. Bill Gordon, Johnny Southey, I mean, they played good. They had a team. We had our team.
I'm sorry, Gary. Because Jimmy's up there telling the truth. I said plays all in the second half. Ron Butler made 5 threes. Gary goes, Jim, help take that to the NCAA.
See, he had 26 the second half.
Hey, sometimes you're right, sometimes. Like you alluded to earlier, Johnny, here before we lost the group, we just were determined to make it back. We just wanted to show everybody that it wasn't a fluke season. We should have probably won 2 national championships, or at least been in the national championship game the year before. And we wanted to show everybody that we were for real, that it wasn't just, luck. And we were just determined to get back on that stage and show everybody, that we were the real champs. That's why here in the 25th anniversary of the national championship team, everybody remembers, will never forget that magical year of the season of 2001 and 2002. University of Maryland Medical System, the official medical team of the Terps. University of Maryland Medical System, Maryland's healthcare champion. We'll come back with more from Lido's Maryland Basketball Show, brought to you by Thompson Creek Window on the Maryland Sports Radio Network.
From quote to cleanup, we move fast. Call Thompson Creek and get new windows in 2 weeks, roofing in 3 days, siding in 1 week, and gutters in just 48 hours. We cut out the middleman to give you better prices and faster service, because your home improvement project shouldn't take months. Skip the wait. Call now and get a free quote. And now, for a limited time, it's our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on everything. There's never been a better time to buy.
Home, sweet Thompson Creek.
Come to Rosecroft Raceway for live racing Mondays and Thursdays from now until the 18th of December. Post time is 7:15 p.m. Open every day for simulcast, live boxing, and banquet space. Visit us anytime at rosecroft.com.
In Ocean City, Maryland, having fun is kind of our thing. I mean, look at these two. They're all about having fun. That's fun. This is fun. Whoa. Too much fun? Nah, no such thing. Because here, even leg day is fun. So head to the coast and, well, just coast. Pump up the volume, or just pump up the pool floaty. From the boardwalk to the bay, come discover somewhere to smile about.
There are a lot of myths out there about how the Maryland lottery works. Playing the lottery responsibly means knowing what's true and what's not. The facts are, all games have similar odds. You should never try to recover losses by taking more risks. And you shouldn't play the lottery when you're feeling stressed. But the biggest fact is, you should always play responsibly. Learn more facts and myths at mdlottery.com, and please play responsibly.
The Terps welcome Penn State to College Park on January 18. This isn't just another game. It's a Big Ten border battle. Fast, physical, relentless. Every possession counts. Every basket matters. And every fan fuels the fight. Be part of the energy. Be part of the noise. Be part of beating Penn State.
At Planet Fitness, no two members are alike. Their routines are different. They use different equipment.
1, 2, 3.
Woo! And they do it for different reasons.
All right. You're a mythical beast.
But they all have one thing in common.
Hey, you got this.
They're all strong.
That's right.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
One more, everybody.
One more? I got 5 more.
Come to Rosecroft Raceway for live racing Mondays and Thursdays from now until the 18th of December. Post time is 7:15 p.m. Open every day for simulcast, live boxing, and banquet space. Visit us anytime at rosecroft.com.
The new Lidl Pizza app at lidlpizza.com.
You're listening to Maryland Sports on the Maryland Sports Radio Network.
Now, here's Talking Terps with the voice of the Maryland.
After touchdown against Southern Cal, which starts at 10:30, the Terrapins will fly back home. They'll take on Penn State on Sunday. That's a 12 o'clock tip. You should get there early. A pregame autograph session with Gravis Vasquez will be there. Special edition posters will be supplied for signing by Gravis. The autograph session will start when the gates open up, last for an hour or approximately from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. There's a guy that can jack it up for you, Coach. Gravis. Gravis was he was amazing. He was just in love with the game. You know, it's the best way I can put it. He just loved to play. He played as a ramp for a year over at Montrose Christian, and I think he saw what the ramp was, and I think that always helped him. He wanted to get to a level where he could be in the NBA, and he did make it. By the time Gravis left Maryland, he really had a problem with his, I think it was his right ankle, where there just wasn't much left. It was kind of bone on bone. Never got better, did it? No, and he always had that problem in the NBA with that. But he had a good run in the NBA, and he's working with the Wizards now, doing some pregame stuff. And, he's just had an amazing personality. You never know. He never saw practice. He didn't like. Some guys practice wasn't their favorite thing. But Gravis, he'd come in like he was flying off the walls every day for practice, and that really helped with the team. And his senior year, he just had a phenomenal senior year. He lost to Michigan State on the last second shot. Gravis just scored 10 points in the last minute and 10 seconds of that game to put us ahead, and then they hit a 3 right at the buzzer to beat us. But he's amazing, and he's a great, like these guys that are here tonight, he's just a great representative of the university, and he graduated in the 4-year period, which was an outstanding effort on his part. And by the way, Gravis was the best I've ever seen in talking to teachers. And he always limped through the exercise. He was tremendous. Well, as we say, whatever it takes. Right? We had him read a promo once for me, and he said, and the promo, this is great as Vasquez. He was in Maryland basketball with Johnny and Walt and Chris. And he says, can I do one in Spanish? I said, yeah, sure. So I have no idea what he's talking about. He does one in Spanish. I said, what did you say? He said, I thank my mother and my father who are listening down in Venezuela, and I asked them to send me money. Yeah. How about the game? You guys saw the game, I'm sure. When he had 31 at Virginia Tech, after the beer truck backed into the fire hydrant, and nobody was in the arena. We were in the gym 5 hours before we played. Who saying they had no water in the gym. They had to get that fixed. And they were going to cancel the game, but thank goodness. We won our last 7 league games that year. Beat Duke at our place the game after Virginia Tech, and then won at Virginia to tie Duke for first place in 2010. And that's the year Duke won the national championship that year. And their coach, John Shire, was their leading player on that team. Yeah. Lonnie, as you look at the Maryland basketball team now, what grabs your attention to the team?
They're struggling right now, but it's a rebuild year. You know, nobody expected, what was going to happen with Coach Willard last year. Buzz Williams comes in, and he has to put a team together really quickly. Doesn't have a lot of time to recruit. But, they're going to get it together. They're struggling shooting. Their offense is struggling, but they put up a lot of fight. All the games I watch, they try really hard. So once they mesh, get the right pieces, they're gonna be a very, very competitive team.
And when Walt has the pleasure of being in timeout others and then coming back, except for the first game of the day, he threw it out of the timeout. They didn't know. They said, who's this guy? Well, Walt's going to be in there. We get some good observations to do.
Yeah, man. This is an inexperienced team right now that's playing on the floor. You look at guys like Darius Adams. He's a guy that's, his mentality, I like it a lot. He's very aggressive. He's not that strong yet. He needs to get in the weight room a little bit more, but he's not afraid to go to the basket or get to the free throw line. He's inconsistent. He plays like a freshman, but you can see all of the talent in the world there. And so you look for his future to be really bright. You expect more from guys like Watts and Miles. They are the veteran guard play, and so you expect those guys to be a bit more consistent, and hopefully that's what happens as the season go along. But just like Ronnie said, you can see defensively the intensity picking up on the perimeter, especially. These guys are really getting into people, causing deflections, and that's what they have to do. They got to create fast break opportunities in order to generate some offense. When you set up in the half-court offense, they're not shooting the ball well from the perimeter right now. So, and then you take away Pharrell being on the interior. He's a focal point when he's not there. I mean, he hurts that hurts the team on both ends. So, they just try to figure out different ways to be able to generate some offense. So.
We will take a break. We'll come back to Ritos in College Park. Jimmy Patsos joins us in just a minute on the Maryland Sports Radio Network.
The Terps welcome Penn State to College Park on January 18. This isn't just another game. It's a Big Ten border battle. Fast, physical, relentless. Every possession counts. Every basket matters. And every fan fuels the fight. Be part of the energy. Be part of the noise. Be part of beating Penn State.
From quote to cleanup, we move fast. Call Thompson Creek and get new windows in 2 weeks, roofing in 3 days, siding in 1 week, and gutters in just 48 hours. We cut out the middleman to give you better prices and faster service, because your home improvement project shouldn't take months. Skip the wait. Call now and get a free quote. And now, for a limited time, it's our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on everything. There's never been a better time to buy.
Home, sweet Thompson Creek.
At Planet Fitness, no two members are alike. Their routines are different. They use different equipment.
1, 2, 3. Woo!
And they do it for different reasons.
You're a mythical beast.
But they all have one thing in common.
Hey, you got this.
They're all strong.
That's right.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
One more, everybody.
One more? I got 5 more.
There are a lot of myths out there about how the Maryland lottery works. Playing the lottery responsibly means knowing what's true and what's not. The facts are, all games have similar odds. You should never try to recover losses by taking more risks. And you shouldn't play the lottery when you're feeling stressed. But the biggest fact is, you should always play responsibly. Learn more facts and myths at mdlottery.com, and please play responsibly.
The Terps welcome Penn State to College Park on January 18. This isn't just another game. It's a Big Ten border battle. Fast, physical, relentless. Every possession counts. Every basket matters. And every fan fuels the fight. Be part of the energy. Be part of the noise. Be part of beating Penn State.
You're listening to Maryland Sports on the Maryland Sports Radio Network.
Now, here's Talking Terps, the voice of the Maryland Terps, Johnny Holiday.
Our guest tonight are brought to you by the University of Maryland Medical System for better treatments, better outcomes, and better state of care. Learn more at umms.org/better. And Coach Jimmy Patsos did so much for you for 13 years alongside you as a member of your coaching staff, including that national championship. And a guy that everybody in Washington, D.C. and surrounding areas knows Jimmy Patsos. So she was, I thought it was funny. Go ahead, Jimmy.
And we did. You know what? Today we lost the guy, Bill Courtney, who's a great coach, 55, went played at Bucknell from Virginia. I got a lot of calls from Andy Enfield, who's the head coach. Milan Brown was the head coach. You know where we all met? At Gary Williams' camp. And I want to go down. This is not a sad thing. It was a celebration thing. But we had so many coaches in the summer. I want to go down memory lane with all three of you, Gary. The summers here were like fun. Walt, you were playing in the North Gym. Lonnie, you were coming over. Cole was fun. We may have gone to Bentley's for 1 or 2 because Leos wasn't here. Yeah. Coach Williams, back then, we were all trying to learn to be coaches. Lonnie at GW, Mike Blick at Spalding. I got 12 calls today from guys. We all met at Coach Williams' camp. Coach, the difference between now, I think summers were more fun. Maybe they weren't getting paid, but we were trying to be coaches. You guys were playing. I want Walt to jump in eventually. Everyone came over. There was nothing like Georgetown guys would come over. Why doesn't that exist, and why was that so fun when we did it, Gary?
I think a lot of players are going to individual stuff, workouts, things like that. They have their own guy that tells them, you got to watch your body, you got to be careful, you don't want to play, might get hurt, that type of thing is out there right now. Once again, players are in a tough situation now. A great player coming, like say Ralph's coming out of high school now, he would be, there'd be 100 agents that are going to talk to him about representing going to college. There'd be a million guys who want to work with Walt, develop his skills, even though Walt had great skills. And when you were 17, 18, that's hard, to deal with all that.
Like pickup on your own.
Yeah.
Good though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and pickup games, the idea with pickup was, I was always big on pickup, when we were there, like in the spring and in the fall before we started practice. We played pickup because the game is about, it's nice if you can dribble between your legs or go behind your back or whatever, but how do you play with 9 other guys on the floor? How are you? Yeah, and that's, back in the day, we played outside a lot of times, and you had to win. If you were in a good court, you had to win to stay there because there'd be like 3 teams waiting to play the winners. And if you weren't the winner, you might as well get in your car and go home. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you lose all that over. What was the court you played on?
Well, in the back of the Benjamin Sutter Middle School, in my middle school that I went to, I lived right down the street from there. So it was 3 full courts, but the two on the edge, they were really small, and then the one
front of the middle was huge. So the middle court was where everybody played the big pickup games. So during those games, you would get ready on the side and play your little random whatever you're doing over there, just waiting to get on the middle court. And so, but if you lost, it was so many people out there. It was a load of guys out there to wait for the next, who's the next five. But it was also girls out there, watching us play and everything. So it was added extra pressure out there.
Now I know we'll play too much basketball in the summer.
But listen, the biggest thing, but listen, I would tell you that playing in a pickup game environment, you have to, who wants to play with rules all the time? Somebody rules you, And so, but it was an element of you had to learn different things out there because you did not want to lose, and more importantly, you didn't want to be the reason why you lost. So it was things that you had to learn as a team, as individuals. I'm gonna match up with this guy because he can do this or that, and all of these things that you would have self-awareness out there and a knowledge of the game because of being in that environment, and then bring that to an environment where you're being coached. Now you go to a whole nother level.
I remember being 8th, 9th grade, and you hear the guys in high school were playing, and you were hoping somebody had a leave or they got hurt. You say, hey, kid, come on in. And one thing, if you did go in and maybe you were lucky enough to get, you never shot. You always gave the ball to somebody. So who does you learn how to shoot so much? That's Lonnie, what gym did you play at, Lonnie? Me growing up in Silver Spring, I was with the Sligo Creek. Oh, yeah. There was just grown men out there. That's where you learned all your skills. You learned how to be a big boy, just going against, older competition. You didn't win a lot of games as a young person, but you learned a lot. It just carried over to, high school or college, but Sligo was definitely, Hey, Jimmy, let me ask you, put the headset on this for a second. Put the headset on. We can't hear you.
You like the back chin at the one. So we would have guys, in the off season, it was star-studded in North Gym, man. Guys would come, C. Weber, Nick Anderson, Albert Chambers, pros galore from everywhere would fly in to play. And these guys, the Terps got, those championship teams, they were playing against pros in the off season, and so me and Tony Maxenberg, we would have guys come in from everywhere. And playing in the summer and playing against these guys who were currently playing for the Terps. And when they were playing the Final Fours and going on to win the championship, it wasn't a surprise at all to us because we knew the type of competition that they were playing against in the off season.
We got to take a break. We'll come back in just a moment with Walt Williams, Bobby Baxter, and Hall of Fame coach Larry Williams from Leho's on the Maryland Sports Radio Network.
From quote to cleanup, we move fast. Call Thompson Creek and get new windows in 2 weeks, roofing in 3 days, siding in 1 week, and gutters in just 48 hours. We cut out the middleman to give you better prices and faster service because your home improvement project shouldn't take months. Skip the wait. Call now and get a free quote. And now for a limited time, it's our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on everything. There's never been a better time to buy.
Home, sweet Thompson Creek.
The Terps welcome Penn State to College Park on January 18. This isn't just another game. It's a Big Ten border battle. Fast, physical, relentless. Every possession counts. Every basket matters. And every fan fuels the fight. Be part of the energy. Be part of the noise. Be part of beating Penn State.
In Ocean City, Maryland, having fun is kind of our thing. Look at these two. They're all about having fun. That's fun. This is fun. Whoa! Too much fun? Nah, no such thing. Because here, even leg day is fun. So head to the coast and, well, just coast. Pump up the volume, or just pump up the pool floaty. From the boardwalk to the bay, come discover somewhere to smile about.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Have to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun.
Hey, I got your Bud Light.
Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light.
What'd I miss?
I have no idea.
At Planet Fitness, no two members are alike. Their routines are different. They use different equipment.
1, 2, 3.
Woo! And they do it for different reasons.
All right. You're a mythical beast.
But they all have one thing in common.
Hey, you got this.
They're all strong.
That's right.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
One more, everybody.
One more? I got 5 more.
From quote to cleanup, we move fast. Call Thompson Creek and get new windows in 2 weeks, roofing in 3 days, siding in 1 week, and gutters in just 48 hours.
Network. Now, here's Talkin' Terps with the voice of the Maryland Terrapins, Johnny Holiday.
Welcome back to Ritos, everybody. Jimmy, with your coaching career, you went over to become a head coach. You were at Siena, you were at Loyola. Now you're an executive. Tell me about the times that you spent with Coach Williams, what that meant to you as far as developing your coaching strategy and your path to where you are now.
There's time everywhere. Not everywhere. Recruit good players, coaching, which means make them better, and then promote the program 24/7. And that meant like whether it was camps, Ocean City. Here. In other words, in the summers there was no off season. It's not like now. It was fun, but it was a relentless to promote the program to get it because we were very lucky my first 2 years here. We got to play Duke and Carolina when they went to the national championship and won it. So I said, Coach, I think we need to get better players. And then we have to coach better. And then he goes, we have to get money to raise, to forget. In other words, Coach Williams was always thinking about how's that going to help us in 10 years, but what's going to help us in 10 minutes, what's going to help us in 10 days, what's going to help us in 10 months. That's why he's a genius, and I don't just say that lightly. He is, because he was actually one of the worst coaches I've ever known at picking where to go, because he went to the Big East when they won 2 titles. He went to the Big Ten when Indiana and Michigan won, and then he went here. So he kept following where usually guys try to get away from that. You chased it, Gary.
Yeah, well, Ross years with me, Carolina won twice, and then Duke won the third year. My first 3 years, Carolina won the national championship. Duke won 2 straight years, and Carolina won the third year. And I go, that's the good thing with that. You didn't have to worry about those other schools. If you wanted to be any good, you knew you had to be as good as Duke and Carolina. We can see Wall all night long. Wall kept us in the game. Is the best way I can put it. On behalf of Coach Williams and Jimmy Paxos and Walt Williams and Lonnie Baxter, I'm Johnny Holiday. The broadcast coming up tonight, 10:30 tip-off time, Maryland against USC. Good night from Lido.